Hey, what's going on, everybody? Bjorky here. So, I just wanted to, and again, follow up with the discussion of the video I talked about just last night recently about the level of energy. So, the level of energy and its many attributes, its qualities, and your own characteristics and capability of what we do to apply ourselves to have that capability to maintain the level of energy that we have, the level of energy that we completely have to help ourselves restore, recover, replenish, and basically provide ourselves with very confident ideas that can instill us to maintain that quality lifestyle, the quality lifestyle that we really want out of life. So, the level of energy that I've talked recently about was being able to really maintain yourself and to keep going forward, such as trudging along, driving yourself that very potential goalie driven idea. You know, the very things that, as of course, what we sacrifice ourselves for to get what we want out of life. And again, so to pardon the background here behind me is the cross of Jesus Christ. He really, I have to say, as a great example, he showed us the level of energy that it took himself to go to the cross. And again, for those that are religious or not, but it's a great example. It's a spiritual demonstration of basically how our faithful believers have given themselves the level of energy to carry themselves to being the famous people that we have, famous people that we have studied about in this world and growing up. Um, Sun Tzu, who wrote the book The Art of War, the very famous business owners, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, as famous as you think you that as famous or not as famous that you think they are not, but they are because they have that level of energy to maintain themselves and giving back to the people after they've gained the successes that they have built, the foundations that they've put within their companies. Steve Jobs, who invented Apple, started from his garage as a great example. The very many things that people see that, the insides, the emulations. So the level of energy, and again, I go back to the focus of basically maintaining yourself and what you're capable of, such as the very many priorities and responsibilities that we have to accomplish. Paying bills, if it's going to take that level of energy to pay the bills, we got to work, unfortunately. And the very unsatisfied system that we have, that we've grown up in, we have to work 2 to 3 jobs to maintain that capability, the level of energy to be able to put food in our mouths, to be able to contain ourselves, to keep ourselves going, functioning properly. And in doing so, we strive to be better. We strive to go for our next goal, to be goal oriented, to really achieve and actually apply yourselves to and apply ourselves using applied knowledge. The very great books that people read, that 1% of the people read today. Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell is another great example. 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John C. Maxwell. John C. Maxwell talks about those very many irrefutable laws of leadership. The leadership that those who got into the leadership stage that have impacted the very many people between U.S. military to the personal development industry to the very business areas and the very company-oriented and corporate institute organizations, and again with the very polarized and the divisive society that we are in. It's not perfect, and it's not going to be perfect. What it really boils down to, and I'm going to say this very plain and simple, and again, I'm not sugarcoating anything, and I'm not here to sugarcoat any facts or to make it a quick fix moment. The very thing that we have to boil ourselves down to is the focus, is that level of energy that we have. We take that level of energy to basically focus our attention. Focus our attention on the present moments that we're with. The present moments that we're with when we're with our friends who we hang out with at a functioning activity, our family members, our very family members that we get to see during our family functions, the important functions, taking that level of energy to focus our attention. And in doing so, we got to stay positive about it. We got to smile more often. So taking the level of energy, taking the attributes, look at the qualities that you have to maintain that level of energy. Are you respectful? Are you kind? Are you selfless? Taking that attribute and containing that. Taking the small, giving the smallest things that will impact to the biggest things while you're taking that level of energy. So for example, all right, we're in public, we're walking around a lot, and we are, and again, nonchalantly, we take it for granted because of what we got, our access to the restaurants and the food, the bars that we go to, the grocery stores we go to. Take that level of energy to at least hold the door open for someone. Hold that door open for a woman or an older lady. Carry that chivalrous act. The chivalrous act. Well, by the way, chivalry is not dead. Chivalry is still alive. We can still use it to this day. And that's how we can really contain ourselves to be more successful and happy people. Pick up a piece of trash when you're sitting on the side of the road, or if you're walking along the sidewalk as you're going into a public place. That trash is not that trash. Yes, there are people that pick up that trash. There are people who have that job to pick up that trash. But that trash is not going to pick up by itself. So that's why we have people who work in the waste management facility and organizational areas. I give them a lot of credit and respect for those that do that, especially in the city, county, and the public service division facilities, and to basically thank them. Thank them for picking up that trash. Thank them for taking the time to keep your area clean, safe. It's great. And in doing so, with that level of energy, you've given your time. You've impacted that one person who you have happily commented for their great service. The men and women who are in the armed service, happily comment them. Those who are in uniform. Today we're so very stuck up and polarized and so opinionated with our thoughts because we won't even really just take 30 seconds to walk up to a man and woman in a uniform and say, hey, thank you for your service. Really, your sacrifice means everything. Not just to me, but to the country at large, and for the people who are able to sleep safely at night. The very tough nations who suffer from domestic threats, the conflicts that we've had going on in the Middle East, the war in Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, the very complicated foreign policies that were so, and again, I have to say this, that we're polarized and manipulated to basically follow through what the mainstream media tells us. And essentially that's because we don't have a lot of that time to search for ourselves. And again, I encourage every one of you to take that level of energy to basically check your facts. Check your facts, folks. Check their facts too. I mean, we're not stupid, and we should not have to be politically correct. We don't need to be politically correct. We have to be truthful to ourselves and to get along with one another. In taking that level of energy to look into your sources. Look into the sources when you watch the news on TV. Very common mainstream news. MSNBC, CNN, Fox News, Fox Business. The very things that we pay attention to as to what we want to hear. what we're bought into hearing every day. Are we really certain that we're gonna get the right results after that? And again, you thought to yourself at the end of the day, where did all your level of energy go? When you've wasted all of your time talking about nonsense with, things that don't even matter in the end. What's really going to matter with you? What's really going to matter with you when you find out the next day you were not able to process your business transaction after you were asked by your boss to do your homework, to finish that one slight project in order to complete the business transaction. The business transactions that people in business, not that they're yes men or yes ma'am, but and again, they're strong-minded. When I talk about the level of energy, carry that level of energy like you're about to carry your business transaction. Take it as if you're about to carry your business transaction when you are walking into an office. As for example, when I'm walking into an office of my job, I go in with my level of energy. I go in like a kind of guy who basically is all about business. Go in, proceed, and prioritize, execute the principles of that environment. And again, as not as business savvy as some of us are not, but and again, take a look at the sources for yourself. For all of us YouTubers, and of all of us who go into the very realm of distractions that we're surrounded with, take a look at the very business experts who carry their business forms, their principles, their practices, how they basically carry about with the level of energy that they have. So one of the very many reasons why, and as I've came across myself as a person, is most 1% of the business companies succeed because they had steps, they had the principles, they had strategy, they had the basics to basically do everything in order to accomplish in the success. So everybody, think about yourselves, think about for ourselves, and make sure that, listen, we can still contain, maintain, restore our level of energy that we have in ourselves, to basically to make sure, listen, we're eating the right diet, our health, and again, we're able to go to our doctors to get ourselves checked. To be cognizant of ourselves. So carry out yourself and smile. Take care. Be safe, everybody.